Good evening, traders, or nearly good morning actually. It's coming up to midnight London time, Wednesday, 30th of March 2011. This is probably going to be my quickest video, shortest video, should I say. Not much to talk about. Two trades today, and I think it was three yesterday, and that's keeps us up to date. So, yeah, I've made I've not hidden the fact that I don't like slow grinding trend days. It's not my cup of tea. I know I'm not very good at trading them. I don't have an edge. I have one setup, which is a counter trend cycle to take, and even that I grade that as one of my least liked setups. I like action, I like volatility, I like momentum, I like emotional. So you know what? I know my strengths, I know my weaknesses, and I trade accordingly. I trade accordingly, which is what you've got to do. So let's get on anyway and talk about the trades. Dow trade for me. I bought a few minutes after the open at 10,262. Why did I do that? Well, the overnight trade. The overnight trade's important. You want to see what's been going on, and if there's a key level there, then mark it down, see how it behaves at the open. 10,260, very key level. From about this is the open, by the way, 230. You can see it's pretty obvious with the volume change. There's a pre-market trade from about 6 a.m. in the morning. 10,260 held pretty much all throughout the day. Didn't go below it. We had a little dip below it, but it was probably 3 or 4 minutes. Sorry, it's 3 candles of 3 minutes. It's probably about 9 or 12 minutes, and that was it. Loads of support there. So I'm looking to see how the market behaves if it opens at that level. And so we opened at that level. Failed to push lower. I gave it a few minutes to see because I was aware we're outside of this range, but we haven't really been, gap fill and range fills haven't really been because of the volume and momentum hasn't been as good. It's not something I've been trading for specifically. If there's maybe a setup occurs and that's a target, then fine. Otherwise, I'm not going to take that just from nowhere. So I wanted to see if they push this lower at the open. It would have been a nice place to buy. The range fill, the gap fill, those were the other premises. Other than that, it was to buy around the 10,260 level, being that it was an overnight support as just shown. I went long at 10. I keep saying 10. We're 2,000 above that now. Yeah, 12,262. I went long. A stop was below that low. Literally, I wasn't giving it much. I think it was 55 was the low, so a couple of ticks below, 10 cents or so risk. And I was looking. The premise was for a high tick reading. I thought we may get an opening drive to the upside. Wasn't strong enough for me. This I got a little bit. I get a little bit concerned with it when there's no momentum and you've literally got a 7 point range. There's no volume. Look at the volume. How low that volume is. It's minuscule. It really is very poor. It doesn't take much for someone to come along and just drive it one way or the other. So, I saw 10 points in the bag. I saw the ticks dwindling. I saw the S&P, excuse me, and Nasdaq doing all the sorts of their own thing. So I just took it. I just took it. Said thanks very much. I'll take that and look for a better setup. Of course, at that point, you don't know what's going to happen in the day. We ended up plodding along, and I didn't do anything else. Just really wasn't interested. Even the lower cycles, they're only 5 points from the peak, and when you start messing around with that, you just end up getting yourself into trouble or just risking for no edge. So yeah, I didn't do anything more on that today on the Dow. Quick look over at oil. One trade for me on oil. Again, not really in tune. I mean, the volatility's died off. There is some action there. No doubt there's some action there. But it was coming towards the lunchtime period, or the lunchtime in the US period, the time I generally will take a break if it's quiet. And we'd started to break this 104. I've spoken about this in the webinar. If you haven't seen the webinar, it's on YouTube. Titles webinar or something, but go and have a look at that. It's one of the setups I like is the continuation pattern of pause. Very simple but very effective. There's the 104. Broken that, little bit of a battle, then we broke it. Once I see that and I see this volume, I saw it at the corner of my eye. Well, actually I saw the 104. I was alerted to the 104 break, and then I was watching. Then there's my 3 candles here. Donk, donk, donk. Pull back, dwindling volume, and there's my short. And I was in at 62. There was a decent seller. I can't remember where he was now, but I was watching the tape, as I've explained before, integrating it with the setup, watching the tape. He wasn't majorly aggressive, but he was there. He was a seller. There was a bit more to go. I thought there was a little bit more to go, so hopped on the short side. The risk was minimal. It was 5 or 6 cents. I wasn't giving it any more than that, and just looking to close it all out as a scalp into the new low. A little bit eager out at 50. Sorry, I was 12 tick profits out at 50. As I say, 12 tick profit, all out, not hanging about, not really interested in anything else. Hindsight, the better trade was the long on the flush and a nice exhaustion candle, but you can trade them both ways. In this case, it happened. That could have run on. That could have run on, and we could have been looking at the prior day pit low of 103 and a bit. So even though, if the momentum had carried it, I was watching the tape and I just saw that's when I came out because I saw it just dwindling. But if it had just hammered lower, I've got no reason to close on. The tape is telling me wait, then I'll just stay in it until I see that pause. So yeah, a little 12 tick profit on that, nothing exciting, but I'll take it. What else we got to talk about? I think that's it. Yesterday, did I talk about oil? I can't remember if I did. I don't think I did anything on oil yesterday. Pretty sure. The day before, this may have been after I've done the video, or I may have already talked about this trade. So forgive me if I'm repeating myself, but same setup. Good push lower. Taking out some levels from earlier. Here we are. On a 430 level. Okay, it's not, we're not in fresh territory here, but the good thing is about this setup, right? I don't think I've talked about this, so this is interesting. I think this is interesting anyway. Good for journaling. This was good. If you look here, if people playing on this short side here, came up, tagged that 104.80 level, consolidated, but this is where these setups actually create a little bit more momentum for you. It broke out in the afternoon. A lot of people jumped on that, looking for a new high, looking for that close to be filled, looking for a resumption of the push, looking for 105 perhaps. Then it reverses quite sharply and starts picking up momentum. So all those trap longs have got to run for the door. So I saw that, and yes, I didn't take a lot out of it. Excuse me. It was 20 ticks or so, but it's a good setup. It's high probability. It's pushing lower. There's good volume. It's coming into the closing hour. If you look, it started about 7 o'clock. I don't know what it is about them. I like moves that start at specific times because they just seem to be more. Is it institutional? I don't know. Maybe it's not. Anyway, push lower. There was the first real pullback. Tape seller, identifying him, looking for him. Finally spot one, and took the short. Looking for that break of 104, was really hoping that was just going to give way and just flush down, especially towards the end of the day. Could have easily got low 80s on that, but it wasn't to be. I think it was 98 my exit on that, so but nevertheless, high probability trade. I like those. Good setup, one of my favourite setups. So, and that was it. So let's talk about the Dow yesterday. 2 trades on the Dow. This was a little good trade actually. I was quite pleased with this one because there was a decent profit in it. It was a change in sentiment. We'd pushed lower, plodded lower, should I say, almost gap filled, pulled back. Ticks pulled back to 0. That was a good short in itself if you fancied that. Retested, and here we. Oh, just knocking my microphone. And here we go. Here, get the drawing pen out. Retested. Volume came in immediately. Look at the change in volume here. 3 o'clock. New tick high. Good volume. I'm joining this. I may as well join it. You may as well have a go. It's already filled the gap. It hasn't sucked in any more sellers, and we haven't gone any lower. So there's the long. There's the stop. Sorry, and scaling out at 10. Scaling out the last high because we still, we broke through it a little bit and paused. It just gave a little bit of grief, excuse me, on the tape, and we could have rolled over, so I wanted to scale out more. held on to a little bit, and then we pushed up and scaled out into the next high tick. So good little trade there. Very pleased with that one. And then the end of the day, a little bit of probably shouldn't have taken this, but I just thought we'd been at the highs all day. We were within 10 ticks of the high. I thought perhaps there was one more push in it. So when the ticks got to sort of minus 400 level and then started to pull back up over the zero, took the long, and we didn't do anything. We just chopped around, ended up closing that. I think it was a 2 tick profit, so call it a scratch, including your commission, just before the cash closed. So nothing really, nothing happened at all. Yeah, so slow and steady, but I'm happy to take these high probability setups, put some funds in the bank, and we'll just sit here waiting for some more action. Um, yeah, so hope you're trading well, guys. I haven't forgotten about the webinar. Um, I think I mentioned it before. Moving trading offices. Hopefully that'll be this weekend, Friday, or over the weekend. So when I get set up there, get everything sorted out, settled in, I will definitely schedule that webinar for those of you who are interested. If you haven't seen the first webinar, it's on YouTube. It's just me having a chat about some topics, talking about some setups, and hopefully find it useful. For those of you who've looked at it already and have asked about the second one, yeah, I haven't forgotten about it. Just let me get sorted out, and once that's done, I'll put a date out for it when I can have a bit of fun again, do another one. Okay, good trading, guys. Don't forget, manage your risk. Speak to you soon. Bye bye.